All right, welcome to another episode of Living the 4 Hour Workweek. We've got an extremely special guest, special to me, Debbie Turner. Hi, Debbie.
Aw, hi Ashley.
I just want to tell you guys real quick why Debbie is so special to me. Because when when I was struggling in real estate, almost 10 years, because the market crashed, I was doing well. I was doing really well, and I actually kind of listened to a mentor's advice, but not really. And when the market crashed, I realized that because I didn't listen to my mentor. Welcome to another episode. Oh, hold on one second for me.
Okay.
Okay, you there?
I'm here.
Right, I did the same thing 2 weeks ago. Because I didn't listen to a mentor's advice, it caused me such massive pain and loss in my business that I made a decision that I would always listen to my mentors forevermore after that. And what I did was rebuilt my real estate business, and I had this plan that I was going to be able to get free after I recovered. Well, it was about 3 or 4 years later. I hadn't recovered. My Christmas tree fell over. Some of you have heard that story. And I just stood there looking at this chaos at Christmas time on my floor, and I said, I'm going to figure out how to make this change now. And by next Christmas, my family is going to be free no matter what it takes. And I pulled out my camera and I took a picture, which wasn't my, at the moment was not exactly what my wife wanted me to do, as you can imagine. But I needed to do that because I needed to remember that moment. I needed to remember why I was doing what I was doing. And I look back to that picture often. And so what I did was I read this book called The 4 Hour Workweek, and I knew it had something to do with the internet and I was going to find it. So what I did was I started searching for people who were really, truly living it, and I found Debbie. And I related to Debbie because she was a real estate agent, had been a real estate agent, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to reach out and just connect with her. I was looking at a travel product. Debbie doesn't even know a lot of this story. I was looking at a travel product, and she shared with me a little bit briefly about that. Most of it I learned from her videos because she's done such a good job in creating tools and resources and value for people online. And I asked her point blank what I needed to do to succeed. And she started telling me about a whole nother educational product system. And my first thought, Debbie, I never told you this, was like, that's not really what I want to hear about. I want to, you know what I mean?
Nobody does, man.
I know, and I was like, you know what? Am I going to be that guy? Am I going to be that guy who decides, no, I'm calling you for help. I've been following all your stuff. I'm watching you do it, but no, that's not what I want to do. And I caught myself, and I said, you know what? If she says that this is what I should do, I'm just gonna do it. So I jumped in and just followed Debbie's example and instruction, and she told me to buy products, and the cool thing was I really wanted to just show you, Debbie, that that I could produce. That I could follow instruction, and I just kind of humbled myself because I had done really good in real estate. I just went back to the beginning, and now I've done pretty good, right? So like I'm gonna, I just had like a $4,000 week. That's becoming more and more my average. Every single day, people are joining my business. I just had someone else join today. Just had 2 people, and I have no idea who they are, right? But this. So I'm talking about my story a little bit, just because you have been so influential on me, and I just want to say, you guys, we're going to talk about money here a little bit. I mean, Debbie, you're at like 200,000 in just this one side income product that you told me about, right? And it's Empower Network, so you can go to empowernetwork.com/income if you want to look up average incomes. because obviously, Debbie, you're not an average person. So for this show here, most of the people that follow this show they're just, they're extraordinary people living extraordinary lives who want to do something a little bit, they just want to create freedom for themselves. And you are an amazing example of that. So I want to just turn the time over to you to tell us your story, how you got from a crashed market, right? The time when people start panicking and freaking out, and at that moment you made this decision that you were going to prosper, and that's just amazing behavior. That if you're watching this, you need model that. Learn right now from what Debbie's going to teach you. And I just want to turn the time over to you to tell us your story.
Well, thanks, Ashley. And your Christmas tree story was your deciding moment, and my moment was when the real estate market crashed. But before I talk about that, I remember when you first got started in Empower Network, you called and said, I have locked myself in a room. I'm not going to come out until I have done XYZ. And I hung up that phone and said, this guy is going to do whatever he wants in life. And I've always believed in you because you had that mindset, and that's what it takes. And now look at you, you're living your life, you're living your dream. So you're a good example too, and you're an inspiration. People look at me and they think you have to have education in the school system and all that. Well, let me tell you, I grew up in a Leave It to Beaver home, okay? I don't know, maybe y'all don't know what that is, but that's where the mom has dinner ready at 5 o'clock, dad goes to work, and the girls don't go to college. And I grew up in that kind of a home. There was no, what are you going to do as a career? I was groomed to be a wife and a mother, and I learned to cook and clean and sew. That was it, right? But when I got married, I needed to have a second income. There was a time in history where we were just going to that, really needed a two-family income, right? And so, I did the home daycare, and then after that, I was a paralegal for 7 years. But I got to have a capped income. And so there was just something inside of me that said, girl, there's more in life that you want to do, and this real estate or this legal stuff isn't gonna cut it. So I went and got my real estate license, right? And boy, I thought I had the lifestyle. I really did, because I was still working for a broker, but I could kind of keep my own hours, right? And I did this for 13 years. I did really well. I was a six-figure earner. I got the Rookie of the Year award. It was like, well, aren't you all producing? It was just crazy. I didn't know. That was my first exposure to people setting their mind to say, okay, I'm going to have a successful real estate career, but then they don't do it. I didn't understand, why aren't they doing what I did? So that was my first realization that, determination and focus and just doing it really can take you where you want to go. But Ashley, here's what happened. I'm going along, I'm doing really well, and the market crashes. And you talk about that panic setting in. Well, I was somewhat panicking, but I thought, I could go now and learn about short sales and maybe flip houses or find out how else I can sell the market. But I had to really examine what I wanted in life. And this was my crossroads. This was my Christmas tree, right? I had been through deals where, appraisers cause problems, right? The house doesn't appraise and we have problems. Home inspection issues. Sitting open houses. Paying $60,000 a year for Homes and Land magazine ads, right? Going door to door, handing out flyers, driving buyers all around town, and buyers are liars, right? We've heard that, and sellers think they have the Taj Mahal. And it just got to a point where I said, Am I really fulfilled doing this? Yes, it's good money, but is it really freedom? Can I really do what I want to do? And at the end of the day, I was tired of high heels and pantyhose in the suit and looking the part, okay? I'm a shorts and t-shirt girl, okay? And you know that if a new buyer or seller call, you better hop on it or they're gone to the next, right? So it's like a dog eat dog. And there's always the possibility of it falling apart at the last minute. And I thought, I really don't have the freedom that I want. So what can I do where I still have the income, but I can truly have the freedom and the whole shorts and t-shirt and, forget the whole look kind of thing. And I went searching online because I had heard that people make money using the internet, but I didn't know how that worked. And I was looking for a product that, again, was replacement income. So when I sold a $100,000 house, I was accustomed to a $3,000 commission, $200,000 house, $6,000 commission. You know the drill, right? So I needed that kind of leverage. I didn't want to go and market something and just make $10 on a bottle of shampoo or something. That wasn't calling in my spirit. So I found something, and I got all excited about it, and I bought it online, so I thought other people will buy it online. I knew how much commission this person made, and I thought, well, I can make that much commission. And when I actually contacted the company of the product I bought, they said, here's the secret, Debbie. Buy leads, $10 leads, and call them. And I thought, really? But I needed to be coachable because I didn't know how this worked. And I was assured, they would just sign up, you'd make all this money. I thought, okay, so I smiled and dialed. I bought leads. I bought $35,000 worth of leads. And after 8 months, Ashley, guess how much money I made? Guess how much? Zero. Nothing. And that was another crossroads for me. But I said, you know what? Other people are doing this, so can I. So I went back online and I searched for how to do this business without calling leads. I wanted automated, okay, 4-hour work week stuff. I knew about the 4-hour work week by then. And I wanted automation. I wanted systems. I didn't want to be on the phone all day. That's not what I wanted. And I made contact with this guy, and he said, yeah, I can show you how to do internet marketing. Get on a plane, come out to Minnesota, and I'm putting on a conference. And I couldn't wait to get there. See, I came with an open mind, expectancy, and I was excited to learn about this new way of life I was going to have, right? It didn't matter what it looked like. I just needed to know, what do I do? What are the systems? What do I need to do? And I'll never forget, I was sitting like the second row back on the right-hand side. It was after lunch. This guy gets up, Matt Basak, and he when I say pull back the curtain, I mean he put up a slide. And he said, this is internet marketing. And it was like, oh my gosh, I was overwhelmed, actually. And again, you got to remember, this was 2007, okay? It's not like that 2014. Now it's like you sign up, you got a blog, you start blogging, you learn how to drive traffic, and that's the end. But back then, it was like this big thing. I thought, oh my gosh. And it would have been easy for me to say, oh, that's too hard. I can't do that. I don't understand that, blah, blah, blah. But I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be able to get up in the morning, put my shorts and t-shirt on, pull my hair back, not report to a boss, and have that replacement income, my real estate replacement income. And I was willing to come to the table, coachable, approachable, and I said, where do I start? And that's really where I started my internet business, was 2007. And I've done real well. And, it's really about just catching that vision for yourself, making a decision that I'm going to have it, and then do it. And I love my real estate career, but I realize now after I'm out of it, what a slave I was to that, Ashley. I was a slave to that. I was on call 24/7, waiting for that call from the buyer, the seller, and sellers don't want you to go on vacation because who's going to sell their home? I mean, it was just the craziest stuff, right?
Yeah,
So,
I was on so everything that Debbie has shared with you guys, when you watch this, take notes because there's 4 or 5 different things that, I mean, we could go in 4 or 5 different directions right now. If you just take what Debbie has said so far and just make it a direction in your life's going to go on a whole new course, like mine did. And you go into it with that commitment. And yeah, I did do that. I actually locked myself. My wife called me in the morning. This is the truth. She just called me in the morning and was like, "Can you please come home?" And I went home, and that was the only time I ever did that. But I'll tell you, it was a jump start. I needed a jump start, and so many things that you just hit on just now, Debbie. You're telling this story. It's a formula. You know what I mean? But when I saw you, like whoever, if you're watching this right now, somehow you either connected to Debbie or myself. Like it's how I approached it was the evidence I needed that this works, just like you said, was the fact that I was there talking to you. You weren't, you weren't, you didn't knock on my door. I had no idea who you were. Where do you live exactly? I don't even know where it's home for you.
I'm in Kentucky.
Yeah, so you're in Kentucky. You're all over. The thing I love about Debbie is, some people are like exotic trips all over the world, and they're just full-time travelers, and that's cool. That's kind of our life here. And here, this is my home right here. Here in Costa Rica. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. But you do a lot of exotic trips too. But I just love, like, I see you post things about you're just a couple states over. You just pick up and it's like, where's Debbie now? You just, when you want to go on a trip, it's like you make it look like the simplest, easiest. Like you're literally free. You've got the resources. You've got the time. It's like not a big deal to just pop over to where you want to be, to the location you want to be. And one thing I love that you hit on, Debbie, was this internet marketing thing. It's about giving value to people and solving problems for them in a way that is all about building systems. So the moment you hit where someone says, okay, you got part of the way through this, like, if you connect with someone online, they come to your blog, and then you're trying to call everybody. Well, you just short-circuited the system, right? This whole system is about giving value all the way through so that when someone actually gets in touch with you, like I called you. So in this business, you don't have to ever be chasing someone. You don't have to talk to friends and family. You don't have to call people on the phone. You don't have to do 3-way calls, anything like that. And some of you may be coming from a network marketing background. But for myself, right, coming from a real estate background, I approached this exactly like you just said. I just approached it like a business, like my real estate business. I knew the work that I put in to get my real estate license. I knew what I had to do to come out the gate right away and get the results that I wanted. I knew that putting in that work right at the beginning would pay off, dividends, huge. And so I just approached it that way. I wasn't afraid to spend the money that I needed to, even though it was, we were struggling. It was hard for us to come up with the money, but you know what? I just knew, just like you, that if I just did it, I believed in myself. I knew that there were going to be challenges, and I just knew I just needed to do it. So I just ran with it, and I wanted those bigger commissions. So one of the most brilliant things that you'll learn as you start on this process is the opportunity of introducing uh, this whole system to someone where you might be thinking, okay, what do I got to do? Some people feel overwhelmed, like when Debbie was talking about pulling back the curtain. This gives you the opportunity to sell something for $25. And then there's also the opportunity to earn $3,000 commissions, just like a real estate agent. So it's got this beautiful machine that allows people to see value by coming in at an easy price, right? It's easy to make a sale for $25, and then people have the opportunity to learn and grow, and then and get all these other products. I moved pretty quick, didn't I, Debbie?
Yep. Yep.
So I did that just because I looked and I asked her, and I just wanted to put myself statistically. This is a, write this down. Okay, if you're looking at what you want for your life, if you want to travel, if you want to live a life where you don't have to worry about your bills, you've got plenty of money coming in, you can have that. It's available to you. One of the smartest things you can do is look at a group of people who've accomplished that and find out what they did and didn't do. And if you want to do something, if you do something different than that, then know and understand that you are statistically putting yourself in a category that you might not succeed. If you want to give yourself as close to a guaranteed opportunity to succeed as possible, then do what the people who are getting the result you want are doing. It's really, really, really simple. Get really clear right out the gate. What are the activities that are going to bring me success? Know what those things are. Write them down, and follow them. Don't violate them, and you can feel really secure. I mean, there's this really powerful feeling of security, even if you haven't achieved the results yet, because maybe you're just getting started in something. This incredibly powerful security of knowing that you're taking the actions that are going to get you the result that you want because it's worked that way for other people. And then there's this anxiety that occurs if you're like, I really want this, but I'm going to try to do it a different way. Just align yourself with the security. Now, Debbie, you've just done a lot of amazing things. You've homeschooled for a number of years. You've just kind of looked at things differently. So for someone who's watching this, maybe they're in real estate, maybe they're doing something else, and kind of whether you're in real estate or not, we're all kind of in the same boat. We are typically struggling with a job. We may or may not love it, but it's probably not making quite the income you want. Maybe it is. Maybe you just need the time freedom. So how does someone go from where they're at right now to making the shift to actually creating the life that they want to live?
Sure. Well, it's making the decision first. You can't do anything without the decision. I mean, you have to really, really want it. And when you get to a point when enough is enough, and you see the time clock running by on your life, the kids are growing up, or maybe they've just left, off to college, you make that decision. You have to draw a line in the sand that says, man, this is the life I want, period, no matter what. And then be committed to that. Get the education that you need that's going to help you live that life that you envision, okay? And you'll have good days and bad days. And when you're not feeling it on a day, you have to just revisit that why. You have to really know your why. I mean, I wanted it like I wanted to breathe. I did not want a boss. I did not want to have to dress up and go fight the rat race. I just did not want to do that. I am psychologically unemployable. And if you think about your whole life, anything that you've wanted to do, you get the knowledge, you apply it, you do it. That's what I did when I was going to be a legal secretary. I had to get the knowledge and the skills, And then I had to show up on the job. And I was nervous on the job until you settle in, but I got good at it. And then when I needed to change, go to real estate, well, guess what? I needed the knowledge. So I got the knowledge. I applied the knowledge. I failed forward. I was nervous writing my first contract, but you know what? I got really good at it. When the market crashed, I wanted this new lifestyle, this totally no boss lifestyle, right? The 4-hour work week lifestyle, automation, freedom, travel. And I said, okay, if that's what I want, I just need some knowledge. And I got the knowledge. I applied the knowledge. I failed forward. I didn't really give me a time frame that I had to succeed by because I know everything is a journey and we all learn differently. But if I focused on my end goal, and on tough days, I would say, Debbie, what do you want more? You want to go work at Walmart? Or do you want to have the life you want? You decide. And so it was just reaffirming that decision. Okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to learn. I can learn. And positive affirmations. It's all a mind game, Ashley. You know that. I tell people all the time when they say, where should I get started? I say, tell me the books you're reading. You know, they want to skip the mindset. But if they would get into the mindset, learn how to really identify what they want, visualize it, feed off of it, and then take the steps to do it, you know, it will work out. It always works out. So get the knowledge and do it.
I love that. You know, I feel like with this show sometimes, but like right now, I feel like of all the things that someone could possibly be watching, just to hear you say, make a commitment and know exactly what you want and know that you won't settle for anything else and just take action and move forward and fail forward and just go for it. For someone to hear that right now, you know, it's an honor to be able to hear those words from your mouth, because hopefully if you're watching this right now, that's going to resonate around in your head. And you know, I was looking at that bookshelf behind you, and I see the 4-hour work week right there behind your head. You guys, the knowledge.
I've got the original and the updated.
Yeah, exactly. So it is the best feeling in the world to know, right? It's like some people are like, is this going to work for me, right? And you kind of hear and feel the, you know, they're hoping. It's almost it can lean a little bit like on the, you know, what are my chances of picking the winning ticket? Kind of tone to the question sometimes. You know what I mean? And that does not give you security. But if you look at where you're at right now and where we're at, and you follow the course that we followed, I've never seen it not work for someone. I've seen people who've gotten off course, and we as mentors can see specifically where it happened. But if you follow the course that leads to success, you're going to arrive there. And like Debbie said, you know, you may or may not, you can set goals and time frames, and that's going to help you get there faster. But the real security comes from making a decision right now at this moment that you're going to be free, that you have the tools in front of you to be free, that you have the people around you that you need, as long as you reach out and connect with us, to be free. Everything's here. It's not a lottery. It's up to you. We've got the books to recommend to you. We've got the audios to recommend. In fact, a huge shift for me, Debbie, was when David Wood, I mean, he was going on a rant. I was listening to an audio, right? He made this audio. David Wood's really a mentor for hundreds of thousands of us who are living this lifestyle, and he does it through automation, just the exact same way that we're doing here now. And he was basically pleading and directing kind of forcefully that I care about my family enough to get out of being slave to the system of trading an hour of time for money rather than being in control of a system. And up to that point, Debbie, I'd kind of had a little, not pride, but I prided myself in that I was self-employed, right? I was my own boss. And he said that at that moment, and I just realized I'm self-employed, but I'm still pretty much an employee. Just that I'm my own boss, but I'm not controller of a system. And it was this huge breakthrough, and I had to go back. I had to go back to like a clean slate, you know, because I was kind of bringing some of my preconceived notions, my preconceived ego, I guess you could say. And I said, okay, let me just start at the beginning. Let me be so humble through this whole process. I'm just going to do what I need to do. And as I was reading the 4-Hour Workweek, the reason that I struggled with it for over a year, I was trying to invent. I mean, I made prototypes of stuff, Debbie. I had prototypes of you know what I mean, of products that I was going to make. Great ideas, you know. I showed it to people. They're like, "That's great. Like, I think you could sell that." You know what I mean? But meeting you and like getting into the people who are really succeeding at this, it's like, you know, you don't have to invent your own thing. It's all figured out for you. Just be one of those people who just take action. So, Debbie, thank you so much. You guys, right now, there's a button right here for you to click and get started with us. So that's our direction for you. You've obviously stayed here listening to this whole thing, so this resonates with you. So you need to just click this button right here and take action on what we just laid out for you, which is to follow the advice of people who are getting a result that you want. And then, you know, then we'll get to be in touch with each other directly, which will be fantastic, because the most beautiful thing about this, you know, I did real estate in a town of 1,000 people, and then there was a college town next to me, right? And it was competitive, like you're saying, right? I came from this background of there's a limited amount of inventory on the market. You guys, this skill set of understanding how to connect with people online, give value to people online, and sell and receive a commission online, the market is massive. Who doesn't need to learn how to communicate better? Oh, they're so hungry.
They're
so
starving
hungry.
for it. And here's the thing, Ashley. For someone to say they want a lifestyle, they don't have to have thousands and thousands of dollars every month coming in. They just don't. I think so many people, when they look online, they see these gurus and they're making 20, 30,000 a month, 50,000 a month. And so some people just can't really relate to that. They're like, that just doesn't seem possible. Ashley, you know, what does one sale at $3,000 do for the family?
That's
just
right.
One sale, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, I am just so excited about that.
I'm really glad you brought that up, and we'll end on that, because it was about 90 days in. I'll tell you guys, so as I was working real estate, I told my wife that I wanted to do this, and she believes in me, and that support has meant the world to me. She had a little bit of a feeling of, okay, Ashley's feeling the weight of the reality that we're not getting ahead doing what we're doing. I could not work more. It wasn't physically possible for me to work more hours and be away from my family more. So now he wants to add this other business on top, and she felt like, okay, he can do it, but is it going to work? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I want to spend this money, and it was money we didn't have. I sold my camera. I ended up selling my truck, which four-wheel drive truck in Utah in 2 feet of snow while I was selling ranches. If I didn't make it, we were going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? I made it, and I wanted to make it where I didn't have any backup plan. I had to succeed. So it was about 90 days in, Debbie, when I had my first $1,600 day, and it was a Friday. It was a Friday night, and I was able to just it just hit my phone like ding. You know, I'm like, cool. This is this is cool. Looking at like a $500, and then it was like ding. It was another $1,000 in commissions, and I just rolled over and was like, hey babe, look at this. And she was like, is that our, like, that's our money? And I said, yeah. And she's like, we just earned that. And I said, yeah, we just earned this. And from that moment on, it was like, okay, this is a real income. Like, you can, like, can you do that again? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you do it once, you can do it again. That's the beauty of it, right? You do it once, and it's easier and easier.
Exactly.
So from there, she started to believe, but I had to go through that process of just that's really the huge motivator for me for why I got to work the way I did. Was I've got to make this work for my family. I've got to deliver. So I didn't just quit my job immediately. I didn't quit my real estate business. But what happened was I looked at my life and I said, I don't have the time to add something on top of it. And I had to step back mindset-wise and say, I've got all the time I need to do this. I've got time and resources. I'm going to be prosperity-minded. I'm not going to be lack-minded. I'm going to believe that as a creative person, I'm going to find the time. It's going to happen. So it's amazing when you get on track in your life how I had more energy, right? I was working more. I had more energy. I was ready to go. In my real estate, I started to make good decisions, Debbie, like people, buyers or sellers that I would have chased. I decided not to chase anymore. That the ones that those $40,000 lots and stuff like that, just stop chasing them. I was just so much more. I became better. Like, I created more time. My real estate business got more efficient. And I remember the words were coming out of my mouth as I was sitting with a seller, explaining to them the process of the appraisal. And I thought, a recording of this could communicate every single thing I'm talking about here for an hour of my day, every single day. I am literally wasting not just my time, but my time with my children. It made me feel sick almost. I'm squandering my time with my children by doing what one recording of myself can do, and someone could just a buyer or seller could just watch in their own time. And it was just like I had this realization at the moment that I'm talking to them, and it was like, I can't even believe I'm using my mind and my mouth to do this at this moment in time. You know what I mean? And it was just one of those moments, because I had made this decision. I wouldn't have even had that realization, but because I met you and you opened this door for me and I stepped into it, I rose to a new standard, a new expectation of freedom for my life. And so I thank you, Debbie. You changed my family's life forever, and I can't tell you how much that means to me to have just been able to cross paths with you and
cry, Ashley. But that's what it's about, and that's what you're doing for other people. and now we both have that vision. And we've got to just spread this news that people can have a life. They can build a business and have a life. And that's exactly what we're doing. So thank you for your sentiments, but we're doing that together now. Changing
You bet.
lives.
And
Yeah.
it's the most fulfilling thing. I loved helping people to get into a nice house and have that experience for themselves. But there is nothing more fulfilling than helping somebody to create a systematized income by being themselves, putting
Yes.
their best value out into the world. Uh, it's every moment that I have the opportunity to work on this is just, it's art. It's just the most fulfilling thing. And then I have all this free time to be with my family, to surf, to just travel the world and show my children the world. I couldn't ask for a better life. It's just amazing. And then, now we get to go to New Orleans and hang out. The kids are staying here. We paid for my sister to come, sister-in-law to fly in, watch my
Yeah.
kids in Costa Rica. An amazing experience for her. And
Oh,
now my
awesome.
wife and I get to go fly to New Orleans for a week, just the two of us, and hang out with you and the most amazing people. It's going to be awesome.
It's awesome. Awesome.
Well, great. Thank you guys for being here for another episode of Living the 4-Hour Workweek. Please join us next week. We've got some incredible guests lined up coming up, so you're going to want to be here. Take action right now. Don't just let this be something that you watch, but really make it part of your life, because we can help you to create the life of your dreams. We'll see you next week.